Hey guys, Jonah here, and it's Sunday, but it's not a supermarket Sunday. It is London. Or is it? Because I'm not going to rant today much, although I probably will. But yeah, once again, this is brewed in the EU, which is absolutely bizarre to me. There obviously has to be some sort of financial reason for doing it. Not sure exactly what it is. But hey, right. Looking at the map, where are we? Up here, I think. Is that right? Nope, sorry, the other side. It is, sorry, I'm looking backwards. There we go. We're in Tottenham, Walthamstow, that kind of area. And we're looking at a collective, Black Horse Road, actually. Black Horse Collective. Um, which is here. It's called Blackhorse Beer Mile. And we'll go on to the collective in a second. But it says the artwork for our Blackhorse Beer Mile Pale was inspired by Giles Round's tile set. Basically, that's put in the Blackhorse Road Station 2016 with industrial additions to suit the area. Project name, design, work, leisure. It's a good reflection on what the area is all about, etc., etc. So the beer, this pale ale is full of citrus peel and tropical fruits, underpinned by an earthy herbal aroma. And those hops are Mosaic, Cascade, and Jester. And Jester is a UK hop, which is Cool and the Gang. Let me show you the can. We'll show you what all this artwork is about. So it's probably, well, if it will focus, that is. Focus, pocus, let us focus. There we go. There's the old pale ale. But if you have a look around here, these are the kind of tile things that they were talking about. So it's kind of, well, in my book, it's quite a simple kind of style, but I think that's quite cool. And the breweries involved are here on this. So it's Renegade, which is actually a winery, not a brewery. So there's one winery involved. Acne Brewery, Wildcard, Beerball Fish, Exhale Brewing, Pretty Decent Brew Co, Signature Brew, and Big Penny Beer. So how many is that? Well, let's ignore the wineries. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 breweries. So 7 breweries, but they couldn't be bothered to brew the beer. Basically, they sent it to EU to contract brew this beer, which is absolutely ridiculous, if you ask me. I am really taking offence to this. I really am. I think it's disgraceful, and that is upside down. So let us do this. So I'm not impressed at all. I am disgusted, to be perfectly honest. Right, so we've got oats, we've got some spelt, nice. Some other grains, no wheat in there. Spelt is kind of like wheat, I guess. And as usual, if you're on the Transport for London, they don't accept pregnant ladies. So if you're pregnant, don't go Transport for London because they won't accept you. Like that sign, if you look at it, it says, "We do not like pregnant ladies." There you go. Transport for London, no pregnant ladies. What else does it say? It says it's 4.5%. And it has a black top. So they might say, oh no, this isn't anything to do with London. This is to do with the EU. Well, you contract brewed, so sorry, but I have no real sympathy for you, to be perfectly honest. I feel very let down, like incredibly let down by Beer 52 for doing this subterfuge. Yeah, it seems nonsense. Why not just have a magazine that says EU beers, because it's got nothing to do with London. Maybe the recipe was conceived in London I could do that on my computer. I could probably do it on my mobile phone. What's that got to do with London? Nothing. Ugh, disgraceful. Anyway, let us see what the actual beer is like, because I don't blame the beer. I blame horrible people in this world, but not the precious, lovely beer. Let's do one of these while we've got this ready. Boom. That should be good. We are rocking half a finger's head. Not pure white, it's just off white. We have got quite a good level of carbonation. If it'll focus in there. See the bubbles are forming, very micro bubbles, which is a good sign. And we do have a bit of chill haze because it has been in the fridge. Not totally opaque. You can kind of see a little bit through. And what colour would you say that was, dear viewer? I'm thinking maybe a shade lighter than a kind of yellow straw kind of thing. Just not quite amber, not a light, a dark yellow, a deep yellow maybe. Wow, that's really nice. So there is a bit of appeal there. There is a lot of citrus, but there's also a flowery note too. Which is really interesting. Maybe a peach, which could be from the Cascade. Let's see what the tasting notes say, because I can't be bothered reading it. Jester, that was the other one. So Mosaic, Cascade Jester, yeah. Yeah, there is a bit of tropicalness there. There's a bit of peachiness there, a little bit of sweetness too, and a mellow carbonation, which is, I think that's quite cool. Dear viewer, before we continue on this wonderful Sunday, please think about liking, subscribing, leave a comment for me. I'm usually good at answering the comments. If I've ignored you in the past, it's probably because I've had a few more beers. But today I'm just sticking to the one, because I've had, a reasonably heavy weekend of drinking. Cheers and beers. Ooh, quite bitter up front, quite zesty. And the maltiness comes in second. And it's like one of those kind of gnarly, not quite a rye, but I guess the spelt is giving it that another kind of another form of kind of maltiness. It's weird. A lot of beers use the very similar types of malt, and you kind of get used to a certain malt bill for a certain style, and then someone will put a different ingredient in, like spelt, sometimes like rye too, and it really makes a difference. You go, oh, that's actually tasting totally different, and you don't notice that you're tasting a certain kind of way, a certain sweetness, a certain level of biscuit until you have something different, and then it's like, oh, that's so different, but it probably isn't that much different. Bit of astringency there, actually quite a good level of bitterness too. Whether that's coming from the malts, the hops, or a combination of the two. But it does have quite a bitter kind of aftertaste. Maybe it's the zesty kind of peel hanging around my taste buds. Let's dive in for some more. It's a lovely aroma. I like that. Yep. So zestiness, citrus, bitterness. There is a bit of sweetness there. And then the spelt kicks in, but there's also like a greenness. And I'm wondering if that's the jester. So if I remember, I've had just a single hop beer, and it was quite green. It was quite kind of resinous, not in the same way like Citrus. It's a bit more dark, but this is quite a light beer, isn't it? It's only 4.5% on the ABV. Had to get this bad boy out again. There we go. And I'm liking the fact that they're calling themselves Pale Ale. I did actually look at this on Untapped, and it said it's a Belgian Pale Ale. So I'm wondering if Untapped know where this was brewed in the EU. Let me just flick over to my Untapped page. It says, yes, brewed in Belgium. Doesn't say where, but there are some big breweries. Hoog is one of the big bad boys, and they contract brew for loads of different people. Weirdly though, they're not using a Belgian yeast, but hey, just because it's brewed in Belgium, it doesn't necessarily mean that it needs a Belgian yeast. You can buy yeast from all over the show. Oh, and I did notice there's quite a nice lacing there. Looking a bit up here, where the original line was, like a bit of a cave painting with fighting animals in the foam, which is cool. And down below, there's a really selfishly fat line. Pardon me, dear viewer. Ending in the tail of some bucking horse, or perhaps some sort of dinosaur, dragon. Here be dragons. Let's drink some more. It's surprisingly light in the mouthfeel as well. If you kind of get your head away from the spelt, because it really is sort of gnarly, kind of bready, wholemealy, sort of, that type of thing. But the actual feel is quite light, a bit lager-like actually, because it's cold, because I've had it in the fridge. The carbonation as well is reasonable. But yeah, they've just put a lot more hops in, and obviously the spelt. Wow. Oh, let me turn it around. Let me see the devastation of that last sip. So there we go. All sorts of line, and looks like a kind of hop cone, a head cone, a foam cone. There we go. Very nice. I'm liking that. If it was brewed in London by any one of 7+ breweries, I'd give it good marks. But unfortunately, I have to knock some marks off because I feel lied to. Nothing wrong with Belgian breweries at all. I love Belgian beers. But why not call it a Belgian beer and not a London beer? This has been Unclejona, drinking beers and hopefully entertaining the masses. Well, at least you, dear viewer. I'll be back drinking more beer, more tomfoolery, and all that kind of jazz real soon.